Hey guys, this is Ryan from El Topo Loco. Today I am giving you a not quite a deck profile, but it's going to be two different gameplays with the Nappa leader with the Saibamen support. It's actually a pretty fun deck. I'm still in the early stages of testing, but if you do want to see the deck profile, please let us know in the comments, and maybe I'll make a profile with it. I'm pretty happy with the list, but I'm still tweaking the ratios and maybe deciding one or two cards if they should still be in there or not. But I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. Um, you're going to see the first gameplay against Launch, and this is going to be the red-green version. Um, as many of you might have known, I'm one of the earlier people that like really was hyping up Launch. And when I did the deck profile, I said I didn't know who the original person who came up with the launch list that I gave out. I was told it was I think it was No Launch from from On Tap. So definitely want to give them a shout out if they were the creator of the deck. I just made it more popular and well known, and now we see it very almost becoming like a tier 1 deck, seeing it all over the place. So I'm always been the type of player that likes to play rogue decks or non-meta. So even though I played rogue or I played launch last weekend at PPG, started kind of like maybe want to get away from her since everybody's playing her, and they're going to start siding a lot of hate against it. But we're going to see that with against launch first, and then we're going to see the second game against my teammate Brandon, and he's playing Jax. Um, Also, before we start, I do want to give a shout out to Team El Topo Loco. We had 4 players, including myself, um, do the PPG events last weekend. 2 of our players went to Connecticut for the in real life event, and me and my other teammate Johnny, we did the online event, and all 4 of us got our invitationals. So, as I mentioned before, I played Red Green Launch. I got top 16 with that. Um, my worst my worst enemy was the time. So part of it was lag issues. Um, there was like 4 seconds response between every single um, response. They couldn't like the audio was like lagging, and because of that, we ended up going to the turns, especially playing green and yellow all day with dormants and nimbuses. I feel like if I had one more turn with some of those decks, like I had like 7 life and they would only have like 1 or 2, I think I could have got it, but you got to adjust to whatever the format is. Our teammate Johnny got top 8 with Reboot Gohan at the Cam event, and he was almost undefeated during Swiss. Probably would have been undefeated, but he didn't play the last round because he wanted to eat dinner. But he knew he was going to be top 8 no matter what, so he gave the win. The win he gave to was for Turles deck, and I think Gohan probably has a pretty good matchup with that. And then our 2 teammates that went to Connecticut, Miguel got top 8 with Blue Vegito, and our teammate George, he got top 16 with Mecha Frieza. So 4 different decks, 4 different colors actually, and we all got our invites. So that was pretty cool. That being said, let's get into the deck profile, or not deck profile, gameplay. So first one is against Launch, and this deck just goes off. Um, Luckily for me, I've been playing this deck for like 2 months now, so I know it in and out. I know what I need to do against it. Unfortunately, I think I lost the die roll. Okay, so I did lose the die roll. So he's going first. He's charging. Not much he can do. Um, I did get a little fortunate with this, and I did, or he did brick a little bit by not seeing his flippers for the first turn or two, but he does have a pretty strong turn 3. So you can see I'm running the Slug Unison in here and the Yamcha Unison. Yamcha obviously is the better. It's the Unison designed for the Saibamen, so it's better because it synchronizes with everything really well. But I also run some of the Slug Unisons because one card that really kills this deck is striving to be the best Son Goku, because I'm hitting most of my guys are 2 cost or less, so it really hurts. So I wanted an answer in the main board for it. Um, Nappa's pretty cool. He gets a lot of attackers or a lot of bodies with the Cybermen out really quick. The one downside is he doesn't have much draw power. He only draws on the front by taking a life, but then he gets to free play a Cyberman. So that's what I'm doing right now. So now I get a free play, and I was actually kind of happy with this because he did a super combo, and now I'm going to be able to pop his super combo, and that's really going to hurt his turn two because he's going to play Piccolo most likely. And now, unless he has a Trunks, that's a free play, the Trunks blocker, he's gonna he's not gonna have a rival piece for turn two, which will definitely help me out a lot. I'm kind of hesitant about playing this Unison turn one because it could easily die really quick. But so basically, now that I got that Saibamen, the red one, he could when he gets KO'd, I could KO anything of 10k or less. Now with Yamcha's plus one, I could KO a Saibaman and minus 10k to any one of his battle cards. So in this case, his Nappa's going to die just from minus 10k. But he also has an auto once per turn that when one of my red Cybermen gets KO'd, I can replay it. So I'm going to basically pop my Cyberman, kill his Nappa, and then I get a replay of that Nappa or that Cyberman. But the thing is, when it gets replayed, its skills are negated for the turn. So I didn't do much. I tried swinging. He comboed out. Luckily, he hasn't flipped, so he didn't get much draw power. Could have swung again with my Unison, but either I forgot or I just didn't want to give him more draw opportunities. And then I just got to clear his board a little bit. So now he has his green energy, so he's set up for Piccolo if he wants to. Um, so let's see how this one turns out. So Nappa has a pretty unique Awaken ability where it's just an untap one, but he gets to play on his Awaken. You get to play any two Cybermen from your deck, and then when he's awakened, he can search the top seven for either any red, Nappa, or Vegeta of three or less. You can put that in your hand. So that's the only draw power he really has. And there's only 12 targets I think I play. So you do hit most of the time, but if the game goes too late, it hurts. He also has, when he swings, you get a free play a Cyberman from the deck. Now, unfortunately, there's no way I figured out we could put Cybermen back to the deck. Um, I do want to try to run the red super combo of Raditz, so if I draw, I bottom deck them. But the thing is, I'm running red green, so there's no way I could run that Raditz super combo. So he did play the Piccolo, but he has no arrival piece, so he's not going to draw. He's not going to burn me. He's just going for a double strike. I'm at 6. I could either out combo this pretty easily, but I might as well just awaken next turn. The longer the game, Nappa goes, the worse it gets because I'm free playing every time I take a life. I'm free playing Cybermen when I awaken, and then if the game is too long, I'm going to run out of pieces in the deck. And unfortunately, it looks like I had a decent amount of my Cybermen in the life. So one thing I really am tweaking with is the ratios between the red and the green Cybermen. I'm still trying to figure it out. I think my current iteration has 8 red and 5 blue, possibly, maybe 7 red. But it's a tough number because you don't want too many, and you don't want too few, and you also want to keep the deck size fairly low. I think I'm anywhere between 52 and 54 cards, um, because you don't draw too much, so you really have to put in pieces to help draw. And for this deck, one of those main pieces is the Piccolo Alliance guy. So what I did in this turn is I plus my Unison, minusing his Piccolo. So now his Piccolo's 6k, and then since I pop my Cybermen, he gets to pop anything 10k or less. So I probably should have waited maybe later in the turn to do this because if he does a Nappa super combo, I could probably pop. I'd only be able to pop one thing, but I still want to pop that Piccolo. And then I get a free play the Cybermen. But he's tapped out, so he hasn't flipped yet, so he probably doesn't have any flippers. He doesn't have many cards in hand at all. So the fact that launch never really can untap unless you play the blue version or the tricolor version, he's in a bad spot if I could just keep going at him. So he's at 8 life. I play my own Piccolo. Now, Saibamen is negated for the turn, but I'm probably just going to use it for Alliance at this point. I awaken. Untap one. I accidentally drew, but I need a search. So I put that back, and I know launch is very aggressive. Usually goes off turn 3, turn 2 sometimes. So I'm going to play the blocker Cybermen. And now I can see I have only 4 blue and 1 green left in the deck. So it's really not too many I either drew or have a lot in life. Um, so now I'm going to do my top 7 search. At least it's a top 7, so most of the time it will hit, but there are a few times that I do whiff, especially in the later game. The nice thing is that the leader can search the super combo. Now I am playing the Arrival version of the super combo, so I did whiff on that one. Though you could also play the draw at 4 life super combo because there's a Nappa of that. I'm pretty sure it's just a regular Nappa. I'm not sure if it's Nappa BR, but if it is regular Nappa, you could do that instead, and that might help you dig for pieces. I just am playing a few Arrival pieces. As you can see, I'm playing the red-green Goku. You might be able to make the argument for 3 of the red-green Nappas and maybe 1 draw Nappa or maybe a 2-2 split, but I went all red-green Nappas for this one. Um, so now let's see, I did my top search. What did I swing with? I swung with my Unison. I figured if he combos here, yeah, he has to draw another card. But now, if he doesn't flip, he just wasted his draw on a 9k attacker. So he can't flip right now. He is getting a draw. So now my next attacks, since I'm going wide on launch is really good at being able to draw, obviously. But the launch's weakness is if you go really wide on her and keep on swinging and keep on swinging, she can only draw so much. So if you keep it on attacking her rather than the field, um, she's going to either start losing cards in hand or having to start taking hits. So over here, if he picks up a flip piece, he might be able to draw 1 or 2 more times, but it's not being as optimal as it should be. So I'm burning him the 1 with Piccolo Alliance, and now I'm at 20 double strike. He's only at 5k, so he takes the 2, so he ended up taking 3 from that 1 attack. Swinging my leader, I get a search of Saibamen now. The backside of Nappa already went over the 2 effects, but it also has a 3rd effect. So just to remind you guys, the first 2 effects. I could search top 7 for Nappa or Vegeta. I think it has to be red and 3 cost, and I can put it in my hands. So that's like the 1 draw power. So you have to naturally draw most of the cards. When he swings, you get to play a Saibaman from the deck. And then, so I played another blocker. It's my last blocker. And the third thing is when a Saibaman on either turn, once per turn, gets KO'd, you can minus 10k to anything. So on your turn, if you do the Yamcha and popping a red token or red Cyberman, you can kill anything 30k or less as long as it doesn't have barrier. Um, you could also use the Yamcha Unison alongside the green Cybermen and pop one of them to pop the green ones when they die. When they are KO'd, they pop a 1 cost. So you might be able to minus 10k something and then minus 10k from the leader. And then if there's a 1 drop you want to pop, you could also do that with one of the green ones. The only thing is, I don't think you get a free play them. I think you only get a free play a red when it gets popped with the Unison effect. So he was able to flip this time, and he did a super combo. So he thought he got to 30, I think, but he was only at 25 actually, and I'm also at 25. So he needs to do 5 more, and I'm going to skip ahead just because it took us a little bit to kind of sort that out. Okay, so now we're at 30k. So I was fine with that because of not only did I get a rival of Goku, I pushed a lot of cards out of his hand, and he does get a free play of the Nappa. It's not a big deal. Now my Goku is going to push for double strike, and that Goku is going to really hurt that launch because on my defensive side, I can rip out some of his combo pieces. I chose the Goku in here for the Arrival piece rather than the Gogeta or the Champa because this Goku can pump up anything by 5K. And you'll see that there are a lot of guys that pump up these saibamen. So that way, these little small guys are swinging, and you have a bunch of them that you're playing for free. And you're making them meaningful attackers without actually committing combo power to them. So I'm at 4, which is fine. I mean, I self awaken for the most part, and I don't mind being at 4. He's at 3, so for launch on turn 3, that doesn't happen very often. Launch usually keeps a pretty high life for most part. So he does the Bardock, and I'm pretty sure he misplayed because he forgot to discard for Bardock. So he actually has an extra card in hand. I think at this point my baby was just waking up from a nap and crawling all over me, so I probably didn't catch this until after. But it still worked out all right. So he's swinging at leader. I really don't know why he's not trying to get rid of my unison, but he's going to minus 5K to my leader, which I think is a misplay on his part. I think he should have really popped one of those Saibamen. Um, not the one, not the red one, because it's not doing anything, and it would kill off his Nappa. But it could, if he killed one of the green ones, he could probably push through a little bit better. But did minus 5 to my leader. He's going to flip his leader over, make his leader a 10K versus my 10K. And then he could combo again if he really wants to. So now he's comboing that Nappa. He's going to arrival, probably play Gogeta. So he's going to play the Gogeta and then do another Gogeta. So now he has the burn set up. So if he has another Piccolo, this could be bad. He could be doing automatic 2 damage to me, and then he has some double strikers. So it's not the best spot, but I do have 3 blockers. Gogeta didn't pop anything, but he should have popped it right away, but I think he just forgot. So I'm trying to combo. I should have done my Goku actually, but to rip out that Nappa combo. But just as I was realizing, hey, let me take that back. Let me do my Goku. He's like, oh wait, I want to pop your Goku. So the order of things were off on this a little bit. But I didn't use my Goku effect anyway, so I just let it die as if it did die originally, and I already out comboed. So it is what it is. So now he has 3 guys that could potentially do damage to me. And I have 3 blockers, but he still has 2 open energy, so he could still do a lot. And if you've ever played the red green version of launch, you know it could really extend its turn because you got free Taos, you could play free Bergamos, or not Bergamo, Belmod. Um, he already did his Overrealm. Uh, he could play a free Trunks. He's not going to do a free Beerus this turn because he would have done it with the Bardock. He could also potentially free play a Drum or free play a Bardock the Resolute if he does burn damage to me. So right now I'm feeling kind of fine. 3 blockers. We both have equal amount of cards in hand, so it's not in a totally bad position. But he might just start hitting my field. I really want my Piccolo to live because he is my main source of draw power. And if I can get him down from 3 to 2 with the burn and potentially go in for a double strike, it would be pretty good. So he's trying to figure out what he's going to do. So he's swinging with Bardock. I'm going to block with one of my blockers. And then there's no 1 cost on the field. Oh, wait. So he's trying to arrival again with Gogeta. And I had to inform him that Gogeta is great and all, but Gogeta only works once per turn for the arrival. You can't play multiple. And I'm just double checking that. Yeah, it is true. So you can't play that again. So sometimes Champa actually might be better in that sense that you can play multiple Champas and pop multiple things. But Gogeta is really nice because he has double strike always instead of giving something else double strike. And he also has the free play of the other Gogeta, which burns. So he's going back because of now he realizes he can't do the Gogeta play. So let's just try to fix the board state. All right, so the board state's now fixed. So he's swinging at my saibamen. He's no point to comboing, so he's just saying 20. And the nice thing is I can't pop anything with one cost with saibamen, but since one of my saibamen was KO'd, I can minus 10k to something for my leader. So I'm going to get rid of his super combo. Now he could still potentially play Piccolo and burn two and then have two double strikers at me. So I'm not in the best position, but again, I still have two blockers. So it's not terrible. He probably won't push through for that double strike unless he can extend his turn a lot. So now he's actually swinging with this guy. So I'm feeling pretty good that he doesn't have the Piccolo. I mean, he can still do Piccolo for one burn damage, but I mean, if he had it, he would have definitely played it and used it for this alliance. So he's just doing 15k. I could out combo. What do I do in this case? So I'm not going to block it because I know there could be better things. If I take this hit, no big deal. So he's going 20. He hasn't drawn on this side. I'm just double checking here. All right, so now he's playing the rival Goku. Tapped too much. He actually should only tap the green, so I corrected him. So he's going to untap that. So now he has two double strikers. And if he could push me down to two life with two double strikers, that could be a big problem. I think he got a little confused with that what that Goku does because at one point he keeps on shaking my Cybermen, so I think he thought it was like Champa and could pop one of them. Now my launch build, I only run the Gogeta arrivals. I could see the argument maybe for Champa block or arrival. I don't like the Gokus in launch. The only nice thing is it allows you to use the green energy, which green energy is mainly just used for Piccolo plays in my build, but it gives you some use out of your green energy for that. But giving a guy 5k is not a big thing. Ripping combo piece on defensive turn can be nice, but it's not huge. The nicest part I think with him is that he can make your Piccolo's 21k the turn, and that makes him really hard to kill. Well, most people are playing some kind of removal anyway, so they're going to get rid of Piccolo if they really need to eventually. So he's going for the double strike. He gave his Gogeta 5k, and I already blocked anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So that dies. He has one more double strike. I'm at 3. All right, so this is where he's making a misplay. He is tapping 1 for the Bulma, so he's just trying to dig more, which, again, is not a terrible play most of the time. If he saved it for the end of the turn, he'd be fine, but he has to remember if he's playing launch, red and green really can kill these Bulmas pretty easily. Now, I'm not running after Image in here, but, I mean, I guess since I haven't used these green Cybermen to pop any one cost things, maybe he just didn't look at them. So definitely read your cards. This is a new deck, so not knowing what it does completely definitely can give me a little bit of an edge. But he really should have read the cards, especially since I had 3 of them. So I'm going to end up blocking his double striker. Okay, and take no damage, and I get to pop his Bulma, so he can't use that to his advantage next turn to flip his leader. And he won't get that extra draw. So he really lost out. He really should have kept that in his hand or waited to the end of the turn to play that. So now he's at 5 in hand. I'm in 8 in hand. We both have 3 life. He has a better board presence right now, but I still have my Piccolo. All right, so now he's extending with the Bergamo, or the Belmont. I always call it Bergamo. So he's popping three. So it's unfortunate. I thought I protected my Piccolo well enough this turn, but he's going to pop my Piccolo. And now he's a blocker or 20k attacker. So if I were him, I would probably just clear that Saibamen, or even try to attack the Unison, or um, swing at my, or maybe just keep a blocker up. But this is the new negate. Basically, it's a 2 cost for a negate. So that part's bad. But the nice thing is it doesn't need sparking, and you could actually just use it almost like a sparking negate, where you take a life and it's free. You have to be at 5 or less in order to use it, though. And then you take a life, negate the attack, so that stops one definitely. And then you get to play a Saibamen token, and it's a 5k attacker. Most of the Saibamens are actually 4ks, but this one's a 5k, and he is comboable, so he's not completely dead on the field. And then for this turn, he also has blockers. So I did that just so I had another guy on the field just in case he extends even further. I have a blocker at least now, um, and I got another card in hand. It's not like I basically have to close it out this turn. I do have another Piccolo in my hand, so that could really help push. And I have the Bardock to overwhelm, so that can help me draw. That's one of the things I'm trying to use to mitigate my draw power. I don't think draw apes would be good in here because you don't really get to untap much in this deck, and you're really not trying to get to these long games. So paying 2 really kind of stinks. So I'm doing the top 7 leader effect. I do hit 1 Nappa, so it's just nice to get anything in hand. Even if I'm not going to end up using it, it's combo power. So now I have, remember the token that I have is colorless, but I still have a red Cyberman. So he just wanted to read the Nappa one more time. The nice thing is I can play this Piccolo, use the Cybermen for Alliance, do the draw, do the burn, put that pressure on him, and then afterwards I can use Yamcha to minus 10k to something, use my leader to minus 10k something, so I could pop something 20k right there, or I could minus something 10k with the leader, minus something 10k with the Unison, and then let my Cyberman pop something 10k, and then maybe swing into his other guy. So I could clear his field easily, but he is in basically in game mode where he's going to lose. So I really want to swing at his leader instead. So I'll have hand advantage by drawing 2 more. He's going to have 1 more in hand from the burn, but he's going to have to try to survive this double strike attack. And I won't be able to play too much more this turn, but with my leader swing and maybe a Bardock swing, I might be able to push it in. Now, I did pick up a Bergon or a Belmont, so I couldn't extend this turn if I don't finish it off with these guys on the field. And then I could also clear his field as well, so I think I could push in this turn for the game. All right, so at this point, he said, good game. Can't out combo 30 double strike. Um, he did tell me right afterwards that this is the first time he actually lost again with his launch deck. He's been undefeated. I don't know how many games he's actually been playing with launch, but it seemed like he was playing it for a while. And we started talking about it, but like launch is really powerful, goes off really quick. But it definitely helped me playing launch and knowing how it works and its advantages and disadvantages. And I tried taking advantage of that for this game. But having those blockers definitely helps. So this deck can be very defensive if it needs to be, but it'll also be very offensive as well. All right, so let's move on to game 2.